Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and the 158th coffee stream. I hope everyone's doing well on this Thursday morning. I'm sorry we're starting a bit late. I actually dozed off in Pincalo's big, ugly chair for about 10 minutes and then had to bloodwing. So I apologize for that. And boo on Pincalo for not leaving me any coffee. You suck, Pincalo. I have no coffee. However, I suppose you got me back because there have been times when I have not left you coffee. So, turnabout is fair play. So let's say hello to chat here before we get into the articles I have for us today. So, let's see here. It's called payback. You do it to me all the time. That's what I just said. Pincalo. Hello, Seamus. Let's see. It may be ugly, but it sure is comfy. That's why I've never gotten rid of it, says Pincalo. Hello, Calvic AD. Good morning. Let's see. Skeptalk, hello. Green Thunder, hi. Armskiller. All you need. Let's see. Who else is here? All right, so that seems to be everyone who's here so far. So I've got a few articles for us to read. I think I've got about 5 for us today. Because today is the short day. So I've got stupid freaking thing. There we go. So I've got some interesting articles here. Got one written by Paul Joseph Watson that Gunfox sent me. And I've got, oh, excuse me, didn't mean to yawn like that. I've got a few others too. So we've got lots to cover us. I'm just going to get to Twitter here, into my DM thread that I always have for myself. All right. Rolling Bear is here. Hello. Let's see. Can you feel the love? Says all you need. All right. Now let's log into Twitter. Hopefully I can type in my frickin' login credentials properly today. Of course not. There we go. All right. To the DMs. Oh, shit. Really quick, I need to do something. If Chrome would allow me to do it. So, I have actually fraudulent service dog trainers. usually we hear about fraudulent service dogs. But this article is about fraudulent service dog trainers. So that should be interesting. We're gonna take a look at that. So that's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna grab that story. Okay. All right. Now let's get into my messages here. Direct messages. Where is my thread? Here's my thread. Okay. Sorry for the dead air, guys. Had a bit of housekeeping to take care of. All right. Where's that article? No, not that one. That's a Pelosi freakout. Okay. In the lawless world of service dogs, many families suffer, says this headline. So they train the service dogs to be fraudulent, evil trainers, says Skepdog. That's funny. Moonshock, hello. Hope you're doing okay today. All right. Families defrauded by unregulated service dog trainers. This is from May 3rd. So this is last week. But this is not too old. So this is from Apex, North Carolina. So here's the story.
Apex, NC, AP, all the counseling, therapy, and medication did little to ease 9-year-old Sobe Cummings' crippling anxiety and feelings of isolation, and so a psychiatrist suggested that a service dog might help the autistic child connect with other kids. To Glenn and Rachel Cummings, Mark Mathis seemed like a dream come true. His kennel, Rikon Service Dogs, was just a couple of hours away, and he, too, had a child with autism. But what clinched the decision were Mathis' credentials. You are currently... Is Rikon a certified program? Yes, stated an online brochure. In 2013, Mark was certified as a NC state-approved service dog trainer with a specialty in autism service dogs for children.
Okay, so I've seen they have service dogs for severely autistic people. They have service dogs for deaf people. Service dogs are not just for the blind. So it looks like this story is about a training facility that is not certified but is claiming to be.
Third-party ad, 10 months and $14,500 later, the family brought home a shaggy mop of a dog that Sobe had come to view as her savior, but when they opened the front door, Akami broke from Glenn Cummings' grasp and began mauling one of the family's elderly dogs. All of Sobe watched from the stairs in mute horror.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's scary. I could have a service dog for my epilepsy if I wanted one, says Moonshock. Yes. This sounds bad, but I can't stand people who claim service dogs when they don't need it. Just because someone disagreed with you on Twitter doesn't mean you have to take your dog everywhere. Oh yeah, no, there is a lot. I want a service proximity badger. Hi, straight Sith male. Yeah, I there are people who do abuse the service dog thing. That is a thing that happens. Um, but I also wanted to read this article because it talks about the training. Because sometimes you do have to pay, like the fact that they had to pay $14,000 for a dog to be trained. Um, that's a lot of money. So let's see here.
It was only after they had returned Akami and asked for a refund that the family learned the truth. Mathis was not a state-certified dog trainer. In fact, North Carolina has no such certification program, and neither does any other state.
So I guess they have no certification for therapy dogs. I'm guessing saying no other state has a certification for training dogs or service dogs as a blanket statement is not true, because there are states where there are guide dog schools and they are certified. So I think this article should say that there is no state certification for a therapy dog. Which I don't even know if that's true. Quite honestly. This doesn't That doesn't sound right to me.
The service dog industry, particularly in the field of psychiatric service dogs for people with autism and post-traumatic stress disorder, has exploded in recent years, but a near complete absence of regulation and oversight has left needy, desperate families vulnerable to incompetence and fraud.
Yes, there definitely needs to be some sort of regulation. If you're going to have dogs as therapy dogs or dogs for autism or anything like that, they need to be trained. They need to be trained to be just as well behaved and basically as they need to be trained the same as a guide dog. Now, I'm not saying that they need the same course of training as a guide dog, because every service dog's use is different. But the same behavioral skills, the same ability to deal with other dogs, the same ability to deal with kids, that needs to be instilled in guide dogs. Or, sorry, service dogs. Not all service dogs, not just guide dogs.
It is a lawless area, the Wild West, says David Favre, a law professor at Michigan State University and editor of its Animal Legal and Historical Center website. Properly training a service dog can take up to 1.5 years and cost upward of $50,000, depending on the tasks it is taught to perform. But the Americans with Disabilities Act does not require that a service dog be professionally trained or certified. And, according to the link, U.S. Department of Justice, local and state agencies are prohibited from requiring that the dogs be registered.
Wow. That's kind of scary, actually. I thought the dogs had to be registered. I honestly, I thought that service dogs had to be registered. This article is not very specific. Is this just for all service dogs, or is this just for the psychiatric service dogs? Hmm. In my opinion, service animals should be seen as medical devices. I could see that argument. Service animals are trained to perform a certain set of tasks. A comfort animal is not a service animal. Agreed. I'm buffering a lot. I don't see or I don't hear any buffering. I've got the watch page going up in my ear. Weird. Is is anyone else noticing that?
It needs to be specially trained to do tasks that relate to the person's disability, but it doesn't say anything about who does the training or the quality of training or the efficacy of it, says Lynette Hart, a professor of veterinary medicine at the University of California, Davis. So it's a very broad, wide open barn door.
That's not good at all. This is why you keep seeing service dogs, like properly trained service dogs, interacting badly with dogs that are being brought into stores or restaurants as quote unquote therapy dogs. And the quote unquote therapy dog will attack the trained service dog. That's why there's actually been a lot of problems in Canada where there have been refusals to allow seeing eye dogs or service dogs into restaurants, even with the proper paperwork, just because there's been so many dog fights. Let's see. What is Pincalo saying here? No, it's your connection and oh, okay, it's delayed. Oh, gotcha. All right. I was getting a little worried there. It took me and my ex 18 months. Hers for anxiety, but there is no state registration for service dogs. Okay. I see.
The ADA allows people to train their own service dogs, but Hart, who has co-authored studies of the industry, says most don't have the time, wherewithal, or confidence to do so, and that puts needy families in a calamitous situation. Double prime their easy prey, says Hart, whose late brother had autism.
Whose kid has autism.
In
Okay.
2012, the state of Illinois sued Leah Cadis and Animals for Autism over a link, heartless scam, in which she took several $1,000s from families but never matched them with dogs. Cadis was ordered to pay restitution.
Wow. Animals for Autism. I think I remember hearing something about that. Yeah, I think I remember hearing something about that.
2 years ago, Noel's Dogs for Hope of Colorado Springs agreed to surrender its link license. Link after state inspectors confirmed the placement of dogs with incontinence, lack of basic house training, separation anxiety, and aggression.
Oh, poor puppies. Like, they must have been abused or mistreated for them to come to the families like that. Because this is not just like, this sucks for the families, but also for the puppies. This sucks because they're expected to do something and then they're not trained to do it, and then they get hated on when it's the people who didn't train them. If you can't train a dog, maybe don't own a dog, says straight cis male. That's a good policy. I have yet to hear a good argument against requiring service animals to be registered and licensed. Yeah. Basic training, I mean. Yeah, straight cis male, totally agree. Moonshock says it's never the dog, it's always the trainer. Yep. Dog is just being a dog.
And last year, Virginia Attorney General Mark Herring filed link suit against Service Dogs by Warren Retrievers Incorporated, which advertises dogs trained to help people suffering from diabetes, PTSD, seizure disorders, and autism. The lawsuit alleges that the diabetes alert dogs, for which Warren charged up to $27,000, were often poorly trained, ill-behaved, and unequipped to help manage a life-threatening situation, rendering them little more than incredibly expensive pets.
God damn, $27,000. The only argument against it is, well, technically that doesn't count as a service animal because it's a squirrel. Oh, Pincalo.
Attorneys for owner Charles D. Warren Jr. say the state's case is based on the complaints of a few disgruntled and fanatical consumers who cannot be satisfied and refuse all attempts at accommodation and reason. A trial date has not been scheduled. Authorities in North Carolina are now investigating Rikon. Mathis, a biotech engineer, founded Rikon after his older son, who was autistic, was successfully paired with a service dog. It was remarkable, Mathis told a local magazine several years ago. We had a new child.
So he's a biotech engineer. His son got successfully matched with a service dog from a different organization, and he thought, I could do that. Fucking brilliant. Like I said, squirrel owners, it's a therapy squirrel.
Incorporated in 2014, Rikon worked exclusively with Briars, a long-haired French herding breed that can weigh anywhere from 55 to 100 pounds. The American Kennel Club site says the Briard packs so much loyalty, love, and spirit into its ample frame that it's often described as a heart wrapped in fur. In a May 2017 news release, Mathis claimed that Rikon, based in Apex, just southwest of Raleigh, was the largest provider of autism service dogs on the East Coast and boasted a 100% success rate. You are currently...
Okay, you cannot... Even the best... I'm going to use guide dog schools because that's what I know. Even the best guide dog schools who have been established for decades will never say 100% success rate. Never. Because you can't have 100% success rate. There are even some people who get matched with a perfect match the first time, and then they go and they retire their dog, and they go and get another dog, and the match sucks, and they have to go back to the school and get a different dog. Like, you cannot say that you have 100% success rate in your dog school. There are some dogs who don't make the training. There are some dogs who go through the training and pass, but then when they get out into the field, they're just not adequate service dogs. They're not adequate guide dogs. So they are retrained for another service. Hi, Robert Burke. Make that an assault squirrel and I'll take your entire stock. Some people are too dumb to. Yeah. That's true.
Link 800.jpg. There aren't a lot of programs that specialize in training dogs for children with autism, so the Cummings family felt lucky to find one so close to home. The Charlotte couple searched online and found positive local news articles, as well as a profile of Rikon by CNN Money. Mathis' website was loaded with glowing testimonials. You are currently...
See, that's the problem. If you can find only glowing testimonials, it's usually too good to be true. It's generally too good to be true. If there's not, like, even a review where it's like, I couldn't, like, it took me a couple of times to get matched with the dog, but they stuck with it and they helped, like, even something like that would have been good. But if you've got all glowing reviews, that tends to tell me that this is a scamming site.
And then there was the state certification. For us to see that he had the backing of the state was huge, Rachel Cummings says. The couple contacted Rikon in July 2017. Within days, Mathis called to say he had a perfect dog for Sophie, even though he'd not met her and his contracts promised Rikon would hand select a puppy for the consumer. Rachel Cummings says she found the dog, but I was blinded by hope.
Yeah, see, never be blinded by hope. It sucks. It's hard. It sucks to have to be a freaking jaded and cynical ass. But you know what? This world is full of pieces of shit like this guy. And now you've been swindled out of $14,500. Your poor daughter had to watch the intended service dog maul one of her pets. And that's all because of this piece of crap. You've got to do your due diligence. You've got to research whether or not there is such a thing as a state certification. You you can't just assume that, oh, there must be a law that states that you have to certify your dogs. You've got to do your research. You've got to. Like, and by no means am I saying that this family is at fault. I completely understand why they would have been blinded by hope. And it sucks. And this guy is a piece of shit for taking advantage of that. But you've got to do your due diligence. Stuff that is too good to be true is too good to be true. That's why they call it too good to be true. Yep, Skep. Exactly. Dogs have personalities too. The pack has to mesh, said Straight Sith Mail. Yep. Absolutely. We know some of those pieces of shit. This article supports my belief that 99% of humans are horrible. Yeah. Just got out of the bank. What did I miss? Says Duck Dog. What you missed was me reading an article about a fraudulent service dog trainer who bilked a family out of almost 15 grand and gave them a dog that mauled a family pet. So that's what happened. I love my dog, says Calvic AD, but she would never be a service dog. Her personality and aggression towards other animals would disqualify her, but this jackass would say she's a perfect match for someone. Yep. Special place in hell for that guy, says Skeptalk. Exactly.
Mathis sent them a photo. Sophie decided to name her new friend after the Japanese word for her favorite animal, the wolf. You are currently on it. Several months later, the family traveled to Apex to meet the dog. She was still a puppy and had not yet undergone training, but Sophie got to spend time with her. Her mother tears up picturing her daughter beaming as she and Akami played at a park.
Wait. Several months went by and she still hadn't been trained? So she had been born. This is how I'm guessing it happened. The puppy was born. The scammer took a picture of this puppy and said this was a perfect match for your daughter. Then they spent months doing I don't know what with the puppy. Seems like not socializing it like you're supposed to in the first year of a service animal's life. And then, by the time they got to see the puppy, training had not yet begun. And this is months later. I say we loose a pack of fighting dogs on him. Yes. At this point, if I was the mom, I would have been like, okay, why haven't you started training the dog yet? Why haven't you started socializing the dog yet? What's going on? Where's my money going to? Like, yes, your daughter was ecstatic and happy, but you've got to ask the questions.
Her life has been not the easiest, being bullied and wanting friends desperately, she says, and so it was just a beautiful thing to see. Sophie plastered her walls and school folders with photos of Akami. She kept a framed picture of the dog beside her bed, hugging and kissing and talking to it before going to sleep. But on subsequent visits, Cummings says, Akami did not seem to be progressing. The International Association of Assistance Dog Partners says a service animal should have a minimum of 120 hours of schooling over 6 months or more. The dog must respond to basic commands: sit, stay, come, down, heel, and be able to work without exhibiting aggressive behavior toward people or other animals. You are currently on it. Studies have shown that up to half wash out of training.
Yes, they do. After it's very true. Half of them do wash out of training. Some angry Rhodesian Ridgebacks and pit bulls.
During training trips to local stores, Akami pulled at her leash and refused to lie down. At a mall, she growled and lunged at people, and defecated in a hallway. Still, Sobi and the dog had bonded, and the family hoped more training would smooth out the rough edges. Akami graduated last May. The family brought her home Mother's Day weekend.
See, this is why you never introduce the dog to the handler until training is over. Because this happens. You bond with your dog, the dog, and they may wash out of training and you may not be able to use the dog. This guy fucked up this little girl so badly, like psychologically. She bonded with this dog. The dog wasn't progressing properly, and they let her meet the dog before his training was over. This was done completely backwards. This dog, this poor little girl is gonna be like afraid of dogs now. Her bond is broke. Like this, what a piece of crap.
Cummings says her 2 dogs were lying in the front hall when Akami attacked, unprovoked. She says it took both her and her husband to pry the Briard's jaws from the other dog's throat.
Jesus, throat bite. The dog bit the throat right off the hop. Hell, just fire up the wood chipper for this clown. Yeah, no shit. The dog walks into a new home and goes right for the throat of the established dog. Wow.
When Mathis refused to refund their money, they sued. They were unaware that they weren't the first to have issues with Rikon. __. In November 2017, Christian and Shaman Poirier say the dog Mathis sold them but their 11-year-old son Daniel, who has autism. After repeated requests for a refund, they sued him in small claims court and won. The Cummings case never got that far. Last November 13th, Mathis sent an email to clients announcing he was closing down. At the time, he had about 40 dogs in training. He said the operation was no longer sustainable, blaming issues with accounts receivables and the select number of recently returned dogs and the unfortunate response that followed. You are currently
so he's shifting blame. Oh, how can we have a happier story soon? Yes, we're gonna laugh at or get angry.
The following day, he filed for bankruptcy protection. Clients were told to come collect their dogs. Not long after, complaints began pouring into State Attorney General Josh Stein's office. You are currently. Some customers claimed they arrived at Rikon to find dogs emaciated, skittish, and matted with urine and feces. Many said their pups lunged and nipped at children and other animals, weren't house trained, and could not respond to basic commands.
Wow.
Nancy Evans says her 19-year-old daughter, Katie, had waited over a year for her dog, Bailey. Katie suffered from PTSD and anxiety so severe that she could not even take the bus by herself. Once home with them in Toronto, the dog showed extreme aggression toward Katie's older brother. An expert who examined Bailey declared her unfit for service, and a Briard rescue group took her away.
Wow. Okay, I'm too angry. I'm gonna look for a different story now. Let's read about why Paul Joseph Watson is upset. Yeah, let's read. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm glad I stopped reading at that point. Fuck me. Yeah, you guys don't need to know what the next line says, but holy fuck. Okay. Actually, let's read about what stupid things Nancy Pelosi has to say first. That'll make us feel better. Pelosi, if we were arresting all of the people in the admin, we would have overcrowded jails. She means the White House administration. Okay, come on, Safari. Stop saying you're busy. All right, there we go. We would have overcrowded jail situation, and I'm not for that, is the subheading. Okay, so this is a quick. So this is a really quick video. This is a CNN video. We've got a transcript down below, but I'm just gonna quickly play this. Hopefully I don't get fucked.
Give those tax returns to the Ways and Means chairman.
How far can you go on that front, Speaker Pelosi? Speaker Pelosi, could you hold the Secretary of Treasury, Stephen Mnuchin, in contempt? Some Democrats have even raised the prospect of arresting the Treasury Secretary if he does not comply with congressional.
Share or download.
Well, let me just say that
Volume left.
Shut up.
We do have a little jail down in the basement of the Capitol. But
Wow.
if we were arresting all of the people in the administration, we would have overcrowded jail situation, and I'm not for that. But I think that getting to the committee, Richie Neal's the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee. He has a path.
38% loaded. 44.
Again, all of this is so
44.
law and precedent based to do the right thing as we go forward. And there are several options. One of them is to go directly to court.
So it's going to probably be settled in court?
Oh,
The tax
we'll see
returns?
what the chairman announces, because that's the way we do it.
You mentioned.
So that's that. She's a fucking crazy person, and everyone's laughing along with her. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Isn't that funny? Tax records are confidential. Congress has no reason or means to seek out Trump's tax returns. Yeah. Same could be said for the Dems, and many of them would have been correctly in jail. Yep. Pelosi sounds like a moron anytime she says anything. It's almost like she's making it all up on the fly. Yep, Moonshock. Not wrong. She can't cut off their paychecks no matter what she says, says Skeptalk. Yeah. Thank you for sparing us. You're welcome, Skep. On a happy note, my mother's rescue found a dog that they had for 2 years last week. That's awesome. Is it just me, or was that the worst excuse for not arresting criminals? No, yeah, no, that is pretty bad. Let's see. What's the next story I have here? Okay. Bernie 2020 becomes first unionized presidential campaign in history. Dental plan. No, sorry. Pelosi is a reptilian in human skin. Oh. Campaign staff typically work long hours and have few protections against abuse. So this is the second, that was the subheading. Okay. Here we go.
Bernie 2020 says it is the first presidential campaign in history to ratify a union contract. Bill Clark/seek your roll call file photo. Working for a campaign can be grueling, especially because staffers lack the formal human resources structure of a more traditional workplace. But early workers for the Bernie 2020 campaign can now count on overtime pay.
Okay, and where's that overtime pay coming from? Are you going to fundraise more for campaign funds to pay your staffers, or are you just going to siphon taxpayer money to pay for your campaign staffers? Let's see. How do you unionize a temp job, says Cult of Krill? I don't know. Taxpayers, yep.
That's because the campaign for Senator Bernie Sanders ratified a collective bargaining agreement last week, the first presidential campaign in history to do so, according to the campaign.
Okay, but again, as Cult of Krill said, how do you unionize something that's not a permanent position?
Workers will be represented by United Food and Commercial Workers International Union Local 400. Your third-party campaign manager Fave Shacker said in statement Wednesday that Bernie 2020 had set the bar higher for the next generations of campaigners.
So the Food and Commercial Union group is unionizing a Bernie Sanders campaign. Okay.
We are proud of our workers and proud to uphold Bernie's commitment to collective bargaining rights and a strong labor movement, said Shacker. Political Theater Podcast. Who's afraid of gerrymandering? Local 400 has never represented a campaign staff before, and UFCW has never represented such a high-profile campaign. I congratulate our members on the Bernie Sanders campaign for making their own revolution, Local 400 President Mark P. Federici said in a statement.
Why do union leaders speak like communists? Let's see. There's a sheriff in Texas. In Texas, I think, who houses inmates in outside tents and makes them wear pink and black striped uniforms. There's always room for more. I get it. The Food and Commercial Union is going to do back-end crap for Bernie and hope that if he gets elected, he can return the favors. Yep. Bernie Sanders complains about the millionaires while being one. Yep. Because they are communists, says Skeptalk. Anyone want to guess what the union dues are going to be on this? If you're only working for probably 1,000 hours max out of the year? Yeah, I know, right? Hi, Peter Raman. Seamus says, because unions are communist. Why do you unions speak like communists? Because simple, they are communists. They're a communist system. Oh, it's an Arizona sheriff. Jen T. Maxey, hello.
The protections guaranteed to Sanders staffers in the contract. According to a release by the UFCW Local 400, include list 11 items.
Oh, 11. A list of 11 items. Okay, let's see here.
Bullet. Overtime pay afforded to all hourly employees. 1 bullet. Healthcare benefits extended to all field organizers. These workers will eventually constitute the vast majority of campaign staff, the release said. 2 of 11.
Okay.
Bullet. A $20 hourly wage and health benefits for all interns working out of the national headquarters. 3.
A $20 hourly wage and health benefits for all interns? Holy fuck.
Bullet. A clear but flexible work week for all staffers. 4 of 11.
Okay.
Bullet. Dedicated days of the month when an employee is not on call. 5 of 11.
Okay.
Bullet. Dedicated meal breaks and mandatory time off between long shifts. Bullet. A total of 20 paid vacation days. 7 of 11.
20 paid vacation days? 20? Holy shit. It's a part-time job. What? This is crazy.
Bullet. Coverage for mental health care services. 8 of 11.
Okay.
Bullet. A pay equity review. Bullet. A pay equity review process for employees that feel they are being underpaid that protects their right to request a review without discrimination, discipline, or being discharged by management, according to the campaign. 9 of 11.
So, basically a virtue signal. This is complete nonsense. Something is going on here, says Cult of Krill. Yeah. Oh, Moonshock, go take care of yourself, dude. Have a good rest. I hope you can have a good rest. Anyway. LOL, every other day is a holiday, says Genty Maxi. Yeah.
Bullet. A clear grievance and arbitration process, anti-discrimination policies to protect immigrant and transgender workers, and labor committees to resolve ongoing disputes with management. 10 of 11. Bullet. A cap on management compensation pegged to staffer salaries. 11 of 11. You are currently on a text element.
Well, that's a useless list.
End of bullet. Want insight more often?
That's the end of the article. So that is this article about everyone to the gulag. You can have a vacation when the state says it's okay. Oh. Wow. That's just crazy. All right. What's this story here? The next one. Facebook calls me dangerous. Imagine my shock. No, really. This is the Paul Joseph Watson article. Let's see here. Okay. So this is from humanevents.com. Let me just find. Let me just find this. It was hard to find this story this morning. I know it's here. It's just buried. Let me find it here. Come on. Yeah. See, the problem with these websites is that they are they're very visual. So Facebook calls me dangerous. Imagine my shock. And then the second headline is Facebook will shortly be put on legal notice about the harm that their actions have caused and will be mandated to Holy shit. I'm just gonna let VoiceOver read that word salad of a subheading.
Facebook will shortly be put on legal notice about the harm that their actions have caused and will be mandated to turn over all information and internal discussions as to why I was designated as a dangerous person and why I was banned. You are currently on a text.
So that's the subheading. This is by Paul Joseph Watson on May 8th, so yesterday. Okay, so here we go.
Last week I was permanently banned by Facebook for being a dangerous person. I found out about it not through Facebook, which failed to even send me a single email, but through media reports. They've put me in the same category as Louis Farrakhan, a man who compared Jews to termites and once described Adolf Hitler as a very great man.
Yeah, that is true.
To whom am I a danger? Precisely, Mark Zuckerberg. The Instagram, owned by Facebook ban was even funnier given my page consisted mainly of selfies and videos of myself and my girlfriend feeding ducks. Super dangerous. But as humorous as it is, I take exception to being defamed as a dangerous person.
I would too if I was him. Because really, there are very many people who are way farther to the right and say way more controversial things than Paul Joseph Watson. And you know what? Even they should be allowed to speak and let their stupidity be heard.
To whom am I a danger? Precisely, Mark Zuckerberg, a billionaire who wants to create a cult out of 2.4 billion people, a creative oligarch who wants to dictate the thoughts that can be expressed by a third of the Earth's entire population. Who's the bigger danger? Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook chief image. You are currently on in tandem with this ban. Facebook instituted a new policy which states if you post material about people Mark Zuckerberg doesn't like, it will be removed and you may be banned. Talk about a dangerous fucking egotist.
Yeah, see, this is the problem with Paul Joseph Watson is that he's angry, and I can see why, but you've got to, if you're going to write an article like this, you've got to stay professional sounding. He kind of is taking away so PJW is suing FB, says Skeptalk. That's what it sounds like. That's what this sounds like, yeah. Let's see. Fuckwad says Alex Jones and PJW are harmless cranks. Yeah. Who is he feeding the baby ducks to? What kind of monster is he? Says Skeptalk. I have been behind one of the worst drivers yet. Oh, God. Have a great rest of the stream, Blind Press, says Duck Dog. Thank you. Have a good day. Stupid ideas will thrive in darkness. Stupid ideas should always be brought to the light. By anyone. Yeah, or you're putting them in darkness. Yep. PJW is what we would call a vulgarian. He's too blah blah blah. Yeah. Facebook wants livestock. Nobody want to be comments. Yeah. It was. All right, here we go. Let's finish this article.
Holocaust denial, still fine and rife across the platform, but defend Alex Jones or share an InfoWars link and you're in big, big trouble.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of screwed up.
I'm hardly Robespierre. And according to the New Left, it is now progressive to allow a handful of corporate monopolists to control who has free speech and what opinions they can communicate. What was the point of the trials of humanity over the past 300 years if we were just going to end up with some little nerds in California dictating the terms of human civilization to us from behind their MacBook screens? You are currently on...
Hey now, Paul, I have a MacBook. No, but I do understand what he's trying to say. what have we gone through as humans? If only to end up in this ridiculous situation. Like, why have we let humanity backslide so? I think Paul Joseph Watson may not be eloquent in his oratory or his writing, but he does have a point.
There's also the absurdity of knowing that if someone who makes sardonic videos and snarky social media posts is that much of a threat to your establishment, then your establishment must be really quite pathetic. I mean, I'm hardly Robespierre. I make. You are currently on a text and a there's link. YouTube videos, laughing at modern art and scoffing at brutalist architecture. If I'm that much of a danger to society, that's more an illustration of how coddled and cowed Western society has become.
Yep. Absolutely. He couldn't have put it better. Absolutely could not have put it better. I know Jeanette is got a presentation, but I am going to finish this article and end the stream because I don't have any more, and I need to eat. What does this article say here?
CNN also labeled me an extremist, which I also take exception with. I refuse to be defamed as an extremist, too.
You do not take exception with something, Paula. You take exception to something. Sorry, had to.
I have never advocated violence and I have never advocated hate against any individual or group. The establishment is putting me in the same category as human traffickers, serial killers, and terrorists. For what? You are currently poking fun at Pledgeball Michael Moore. Watson in his infamous YouTube videos image. You are currently on Watson in his infamous media personalities glibly repeated this characterization without citing any evidence for their proclamations. I won't allow that to stand. What it now was. You are awarded over $3 million after being falsely labeled an extremist by the Southern Poverty Law Center, SPLC. You are like now was. I have received death threats from Islamists. You know, actual. You extremists. I won't allow a target to be painted on my back, which is exactly what Facebook and CNN are trying to do, and it isn't like they don't know it.
He's not wrong. He's really not. Again, he's not being very eloquent about it. But he's not wrong. The media are smear merchants, says Cult of Krill. Yep. The standards have not changed for thousands of years. Visibility has dramatically improved due to everyone on the accessing the platform now. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely correct.
Facebook will shortly be put on legal notice about the harm that their actions have caused and will be mandated to turn over all information and internal discussions as to why I was designated as a dangerous person and why I was banned. Lawyers tell me their behavior is fairly extraordinary. You are correct. Meanwhile, what is anyone actually doing to stop the rapacious social media censorship of conservatives? While the president's tweets about me last week were nice, tweets aren't nearly enough. You are link. Donald J. Trump. Screen name.
Oh, he's got the tweets from Trump. So this goes on for a bit. It's Paul Joseph Watson just saying, you know, you've got to stand up and oh, here we go. Here's the rest of the article.
It's not implausible to suggest that given the increasingly online nature of political campaigns, if platform neutrality is not secured, we could never see a Republican, or more accurately a true America First Republican, in the White House ever again. Link. Will Chamberlain's excellent article. You are currently asserting that platform access is a civil right is a good place to start as a template for what must be done. You are.
Now, what do you guys think? Do you think platform access is a civil right? Do you think that people have a right to access Twitter and Facebook? Let's see. PJW will say the same thing over and over. Yeah, that's basically the end of that article because he's just repeating himself over and over again. So the last article I have is says Iran is using nuclear blackmail to negotiate new deal. Let's see. He repeats himself like a record, says RJ. Yep. When they become like a power company, the commodity is wrong to deny them access. I would agree. Well, anytime conservatives and centrists try to make a platform for themselves, it gets attacked. Yep, it does. Like Gab and all that stuff. So let's see here. Where is... Where is it here? Okay, so here is the story.
Former CIA station chief Daniel Hoffman says Iran is using nuclear blackmail in negotiations for a new deal. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani said Wednesday that he would build up stockpiles of low-enriched uranium and heavy water used to create nuclear reactors and end limits to uranium enrichment if Europe doesn't adequately compensate Iran in the oil and banking sectors within 60 days.
Wow. Okay. So if the EU telephone, power, and light did not start as utilities, this is metaphor, as it may take a little longer this time because corporations have gotten around monopoly abuse. Yeah. Seamus says, well, if representatives can't block citizens on Twitter and Facebook, then it's a public utility and you can have whatever political speech you want. And they can't ban any political speech anymore. True. So let's see here.
A move former CIA station chief Daniel Hoffman calls nuclear blackmail.
Yeah, I would say that that's nuclear blackmail. If you're gonna say you better participate in the nuclear enrichment programs, EU, or we will start stockpiling the makings of nuclear weapons, that is absolutely nuclear blackmail.
It's quite telling because our maximum sanctions have really taken effect and the Iranian economy is in free fall, Hoffman, a Fox News contributor, said on America's Newsroom. The government of Iran is looking for some redress and this is how they seek to get it. You are currently on a text element. Tensions between the U.S. and Tehran. It's quite tensions between the U.S. and Tehran intensified when President Trump pulled out of the 2015 Iran nuclear accord. You are current in May 2018 and reimposed sanctions on the nation that have continued to cripple Iran's economy. The original deal was brokered by President Barack Obama and ceased sanctions on Iran if the nation agreed to stop nuclear proliferation. You are currently on a link. Iran pulls out of parts of the if the 5 countries came to a negotiating table and we reached an agreement, and if they could protect our interests in the oil and banking sectors, we will go back to square one, Rouhani said in urging the UK, China, France, Germany and Russia to collectively compensate for the damage U.S. sanctions have caused to the Iranian economy, according to Reuters. You are current.
Wait, so Iran wants Russia and all these other countries to pay for the U.S.'s sanctions? That's a little ridiculous.
The U.S. has responded to the threats by increasing patrols in the region on Sunday. We've sent the USS Abraham Lincoln to the Persian Gulf out of concern that the Iranians, who have in the past harassed our military shipping boats, may do so again, and there's concern that Iranian proxy militias in the region might attack us, Hoffman said. We're being very clear right now about our message to Iran, that if they seek to attack us, we will respond. That's what deterrence is all about. You are currently on it.
Yeah.
Any attack on United States interests or on those of our allies will be met with unrelenting force, U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton said in a statement Sunday.
And that's the right thing to say. Because Iran is pulling nuclear blackmail. Let's see. Threaten your vastly superior enemies. Smart one, Iran. Yeah. Make Iran a glass parking lot, says Straits of Mail. Let's see. Is Iran ran by crazies? Yes. Yes, they are. Oh, hello, Gunny. All right, let's see.
House Intel Committee Chairman Adam Schiff criticized Trump's stance towards Iran. You are correct. Recent statements and actions taken by the administration have heightened my concern of a cycle of escalation with Iran, one that could put us on the path to a war that would be destabilizing, costly, and contrary to our national interest, Schiff said Tuesday.
What, the actions of stop fucking around, Iran, or we will end you?
Link. Click here for the Fox.
And that's the end of that article, guys. And on that note, that's all the news I've got for you guys today, because it was the short stream, but my orientation worker has a presentation. It would be a shame if Iran was irradiated and turned into glass. Yeah, I know, right? So what I'm going to do, guys, since I don't have any more news for you guys today, is let's take a look at chat. You guys have anything to say? Now's your time. Also, remember, tomorrow... Oh my goodness, blind press. Go make some more coffee when the stream is over. Tomorrow is Friday guest day, and the CoffeeStream will be back to noon. And it's Ghastly who will be coming by tomorrow. So that will be an amazingly fun stream. So I hope everyone will come and tune in for that. Let's see. Oh, cool. Your new razor, oh no. Why did I have to say I ran out of news to Gunfox? Oh, fuck. Wasn't the reason that Trump pulled from the deal was that Iran couldn't hold up their end? Yes. Great stream today, Blind, says Skep Talk. Thank you so much, Skep. I'm only going for about an hour. Well, I'm doing a short stream today, Gunny, because I'm really hungry. Check Discord for lots of news. Oh, is there more news in Discord? I'm definitely gonna be bringing checking Discord for the news to bring to read to Ghastly tomorrow, and I do appreciate all of that, all of the stuff that you send me, Gunny, because it's great. But I need to go and eat, and my throat's a little bit sore. Doing the gaming stream last night and going on Minions kind of got my throat a bit more raspy than usual. So I hope everyone Yes, Gunny is the source for news. Yes. Gunny, Pinkalo, Mr. Monopoly, all of you guys, I really do appreciate all of the stuff that you send. You can either send it to Discord, to the news for the CoffeeStream room, or you can send it to me on Twitter via the hashtag BlindPressReads. Please like and share the stream if you haven't already, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow at noon p.m. Eastern and 11 a.m. Central Time with Ghastly Dope. It's going to be awesome. Hope you guys have a great day. Everybody, please stay safe. Enjoy the spring weather that's happening finally. And I'll see everyone tomorrow. Have a great one, guys.